St. Mary Netherton Daily Chronicle, Evening Edition, February 15th, 1926. Good evening, dear listeners. Edmund Pruitt, addressing you as the village clock strikes 6 on this Monday, which has carried our community through an afternoon of welcome sunshine and developments that merit reporting. The day unfolded beneath the bright winter skies Mr. Higgins anticipated, with the sunshine holding generously throughout and the snow preserved in fine condition across rooftops and garden walls, softening only where the afternoon warmth reached the most exposed stonework, creating what Mrs. Pemberton describes as a day when the low sun catches every crystal in the snow, and the garden looks as though it has been sown with tiny glass beads, reminding one that winter's beauty is its own form of generosity, even when the borders lie bare. Mrs. Barnes's leghorn hen produced its afternoon egg at 20 minutes past 2, maintaining what Dr. Peterson characterizes as reliable Monday form that carries the bird's February account into its third week without interruption, a record of productivity that reflects both constitutional vigor and the evident benefit of settled domestic arrangements. The tea room's bread pudding drew appreciative Monday custom, with the raisins and spice proving a welcome companion to the cold afternoon beyond the windows. Watson spent the later hours perched beside the chalkboard where the day's specials are listed, his gaze tracking each customer who entered as though confirming they had read the offering before proceeding to order, a system that Mrs. Hartley credits with producing the most orderly Monday afternoon trade the tea room has enjoyed in some weeks. I must bring listeners a full account of the notable event that occurred in Mr. Fletcher's front garden this afternoon. The carpenter, who has devoted recent weeks to the patient shaping of his privet hedge, revealed today the finished result of his labours, a topiary goose, its neck extended and wings folded, rendered in dense green foliage, with what several admiring neighbours described as remarkable likeness. The achievement drew appreciative attention throughout the morning. However, the sculpture's reception was not universally warm. Shortly after luncheon, a gander from the flock that frequents the village pond appeared at the garden gate and took what can only be characterized as considerable exception to the likeness. The bird stationed himself before the hedge, neck lowered and wings spread in a posture that Colonel Weatherby, summoned to observe the spectacle, identified as unmistakable territorial displeasure. The gander held his position for the better part of an hour, advancing upon the hedge at intervals with evident conviction that the interloper required discouraging. Mr. Fletcher, who watched the proceedings from his doorstep with a mixture of pride and concern for his handiwork, was eventually obliged to scatter grain at the far end of the garden to persuade the bird that his energies might be better directed elsewhere. The gander withdrew with what witnesses described as reluctance, pausing to direct a final reproach toward the hedge before accepting the offering. Mr. Fletcher reports that the topiary suffered no damage during the encounter, and Colonel Weatherby notes that the gander's response speaks well of the sculpture's accuracy, observing that one can hardly fault the creature for taking the matter seriously when the resemblance is as convincing as that. In a charming development arising from Mrs. Lysander's search for a transcription assistant, I am pleased to report that Miss Bobellon, who came forward to offer her services with the family records research, has made an unexpected personal discovery in the course of her preliminary work. Upon examining the earliest entries in Mrs. Lysander's collection of family documents, Miss Bobellon recognized a maiden surname appearing in the baptismal register of 1847 that matched her own maternal grandmother's family. Further investigation this afternoon revealed that Mrs. Lysander's paternal great-grandmother and Miss Bobellon's maternal great-great-grandmother were sisters, making the two ladies first cousins 3 times removed. The discovery has delighted both parties, with Mrs. Lysander declaring the coincidence the very best sort of reward that genealogical work can offer, and we have scarcely turned past the first page. Miss Bobellon, for her part, has redoubled her commitment to the undertaking with what she describes as a personal investment in the project she had not anticipated. That concludes our evening report. This is Edmund Pruitt, bidding you good night from St. Mary Netherton, where Monday settles into a quiet February evening beneath a sky that promises another cold and starlit night.